Welcome to another episode of North London Is. I've literally just got back from White Hart Lane, where finally Spurs have gone top, not joint top, gone top for the weekend, well, until Friday, where we play another midweek game. For those of us who are watching or listening for the first time, you can find us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, and all podcast platforms, as well as social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and now YouTube. I've literally, as I say, just got back from the lane, so I haven't seen what they're talking about on Twitter or anything after the game. It wasn't the best of games. I thought first half we played quite well, should have probably gone in more than 1-0. But saying that, Vicario, after about 10 minutes, I think it was, made a phenomenal save. I mean, he is proven to be a very, very good keeper indeed. So first half, we should have done more. We opened them up a few times and we just weren't clinical enough. But I think it was probably on about the half-hour mark, maybe. Son got his 50th goal at the lane. Great goal, great assist by Richarlison, who didn't start off, I felt, that well, but that assist gave him a lot of confidence. And I thought he actually had quite a good game thereafter. But second half, we were sloppy. We gave the ball away a lot, I thought, especially in the middle. And then the substitutions, I don't think helped really, which sort of goes back to what I've always said. Is the squad going to be good enough to make a proper title challenge? But listen, we're top of the league, clear now by 2 points. None of this joint top that all the Gunners were saying for the last 2 weeks, trying to claim they were top. We're 2 points clear. Yeah. Did you see it, Pez? Did you watch it?
I unfortunately had to watch. Ever since I've kind of done this podcast with you, I have had to spend a little bit of time watching Tottenham Hotspur. And I can't really argue with a lot of what you said. Tottenham were the better team. Fulham were poor. They weren't poor, actually. They just weren't very good. They were a lot worse than they were against us, but maybe that's because you played better than we did against them. I actually thought they deserved the draw against us. I was talking to a Gooner friend of mine today who said, did they? And I said, yeah, I thought they did. The only thing I would say about, well, there's two things I'll say, is that I totally agree with you about the subs, because I just looked at the stats and Fulham, I think, had between 10 to 12 shots. And I've got to tell you, in the last 10 minutes, they got through you 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm never.
It was good defending. It was good defending and good goalkeeping and diabolical. I mean, listen, Jimenez, what happened to him at the Emirates 2-3 years ago was horrific. But when he came on, he was just and
their best player. Their best player was William, I thought.
William, you're booing him. We boo William when we've got. It's like, but the guy does. First of all, he still looks the same player that he did 12 years ago. He doesn't age. Listen. Spurs were, definitely the better side, but I was happy to see that they got through you a lot. And funny enough, we'll come on to the Crystal Palace game in a minute, but it's those small margins, isn't it? I mean, Son's first goal was excellent, and Maddison's goal was good finish. But when Son gets the ball in the and Maddison passes in the ball, he's in more space. It's like the Pacific Ocean because it's such bad defending. It was like a replica maybe of the Jorginho muck up at the Emirates about 3 weeks ago, and that is a combination of Spurs pressing extremely well. So I've got to say that. But also diabolical defending. But listen, no, the game was, it was okay. And it's what you should need to do. If you're going to win the league, and I'm going to come on to that in a minute, you've got to win games. And you did. You did.
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, they're not the worst team in the Premier League. I mean, they're a run-of-your-mill mid-table team. They had a few chances. They're quite well organised, I thought. They've got a very good manager. I do rate their manager. And
I rate him a lot.
It was never going to be easy. And yeah, the last 10 minutes, even though it was only 2-0, all it needs, as you know, you get one goal and then you're back in it, like you showed at the Bridge on Saturday night.
The level of when he took Maddison and Son off to bringing on people like Skip, and it is tremendous. But it didn't matter. Listen,
the level of performance does drop.
Yeah, you've listened. You're there. You're 2 points clear.
But we didn't play well second half. But what actually got us the second goal was our pressing.
The pressing is outstanding. Maddison after the game was interviewed.
Right.
I had to unfortunately need to listen to that, although I do actually enjoy listening to him. And he said that in pre-season, Postecoglou had a go at your boys when you were playing Shakhtar for sitting off them 1-0 up.
Yeah.
He said that's not going to happen under me. It might have happened under this one and that one. And you know what? Listen, it's what Pep does. It's what Mikel Arteta does. It's what Klopp does. You've got to press, and you press very well. And admittedly, it's not. You create, the mistakes are created by, doing that. But you got to win the league now, haven't you? Well, you've got to go close. You've got to go close.
I got into the league. I haven't got into the league. So you got me talking about it now. I got into the car and listening to Cundy and Jamie O'Hara.
I saw that just now.
And I'm thinking a few more wins and we're actually safe. But listen,
I think
25% of the season has gone, right? It's still it's 25%, 75% still to go of the season. It's been a phenomenal start, the best start by a new manager
ever.
It's just been, and this was selling Kane a day before the season started.
Is it going to feel?
Go on.
Is it going to feel weird though if you don't? Winning the league is a bit. If you don't make top four now, are you going to feel you can't go anymore? The whole I'll be happy with the top six. Surely,
delighted with the top six, right?
If you win on Friday night, you go 5 clear. Admittedly, we've all got games in hand on you, admittedly, which is why I kept on saying to everybody last year when we were 8 clear, and that was the maximum we were ever, was 8 clear of City. Plus, we had to play them twice, and they had a game in hand. But if you go 5 clear, are you going to look back if you don't finish in the top 4 and think, come on. You're not going to admit it.
Listen,
You're not going to admit it. I know there's people watching this now who get very annoyed by me, and I love it that they get annoyed by me. Now, I know deep down are thinking, we got a little sneaky chance of winning the league. We're not going to probably, but definitely I've got friends of mine who think, Tottenham friends of mine who think, we should definitely make top 4 now.
We've started off brilliantly. We haven't got Europe. It's a big plus. Big plus.
Have you not?
No. And but then listen, you proved by not having Europe, by finishing 8th, nothing's guaranteed. So finishing top 6.
We didn't spend the money that season, did we?
Let's talk about spending money. Yeah, you want to talk about Arteta?
We've only just spent it.
What he spent?
No, we've only just spent it.
Enjoying his first time in the Champions League.
That season, Arteta finished 8th, and I may be wrong. Check out how much we spent in the summer. It's now we're spending it, and we'll come on to why we've spent it in a minute, because that was proved very much on Saturday. But no, listen, all I'm saying is I know deep down, maybe not you, because I think you're quite a realistic, and you're not a negative Spurs fan, but you're like one of those typical Spurs fans. It's all going to go wrong. Maybe that's the best way to be. But I know
it always has for Spurs fans. Let's be honest. It's always been Spursy, But
I know that it's going to sting if you don't make the top 4 now. This has been the best start you've ever had. Well, apart from the 61.
Listen, I should be jumping up and down singing we're going to win the league, because I know you, especially when we have a blip and we start slipping a few places, we'll be jumping all over it. But you know what? It will be, if we finish in the top 4, I would say that's probably considering the circumstance in selling Kane, will probably be a bigger achievement than Leicester winning the league.
No. You've got to put that on. You've got to now put that on TikTok and Twitter and Facebook. That's one of the most ridiculous comments I've ever heard. Right, we're running out of time. Let's get on to Arsenal.
Because even that season when they won the league, Leicester, they spent more than us the previous summer, and they didn't sell their leading. They didn't sell their leading goal scorer that season.
They finished 16th the season before. They didn't buy James Maddison, Van der Ven. What's his name from Forest who came on tonight? He's very quick.
Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, yourselves, they all imploded that season and they took advantage. Good luck to them.
To be honest, I think you should have won it more than I think actually we would have won it.
You were top at Christmas. You were top at Christmas.
Yeah, okay. Yet again, Sanchez and Cazorla got injured and were out for 3 months. But that's a great comment. I'm gonna. I need that. I need to hear that. The best, better achievement than Leicester winning the league. That's incredible. Right, I want to get on to Stamford Bridge on Saturday night at 5:30.
Don't you dare say that wasn't a handball when you say Romero's was.
I want to get on.
I know you're thinking about it. You want to say it, don't you?
Well, Saturday night. Arsenal's worst performance of the season. No question. For at least
every week.
75% of the game, Arsenal's worst performance of the season. However, we'd be top now, wouldn't we? Let's be honest, we'd still be top. Because if you look at what's going on with Arsenal Football Club this season, apparently it's come out tonight that the FA are going to apologise to us again. I'm not winding you up. It has come out tonight that we are receiving another apology, not for the handball, although what has come out tonight apparently is that for the penalty for Chelsea, it shouldn't have gone to VAR because the referee did see it and he waved it away. And that this is what they've said tonight, that the ball was too close to Saliba for it to have gone to VAR. But forget that, because the rules are the rules stink, and it was a penalty. Now, it's come out tonight that Gabriel Jesus 100% was a penalty when Sanchez smashed into him. On Sky Sports tonight, Sky Sports this afternoon, 3 of them, including Dermot Gallagher, said definite penalty, and we're getting an apology, right? What the tackle by their goal scorer on Gabby Jesus. Unbelievable that's not a red card. Kovacic last week. I mean, what is going on now? You don't like the word corruption, and maybe on this podcast we shouldn't be looking at the words corruption and, and cheating and bias and all of that. And maybe we should say it cannot be incompetence every single week. By the way, I've seen bad decisions go against Spurs as well. You say the Nketiah situation in the Emirates, and I actually think he should have been sent off, Nketiah, right? A friend of mine today laughed.
Which means you may not have got a point.
But a friend of mine today laughed when I said that, a Gooner friend of mine. He said, what? It was a bad foul. It wasn't a sending off. I actually think it could have been sending off. However, it went to VAR, Jules. And they obviously looked at it and they said it wasn't. The point I'm making about this...
Yeah, but as we know, VAR, after the Liverpool game, don't always come to the right conclusion.
Listen, I don't even want to talk... That's why you're top of the league at the moment, because of VAR. But, it's not right. It's wrong. The tackle in the first 10 minutes by a good player, by the way, that Cole Palmer. Very, very good player, Chelsea.
Yeah, he's very good. He looks like he's going to be...
It was naughty, and that was lucky, and that should have been.
It was a naughty tackle.
Listen. All I'm going to say is last
week the tackle against you just mentioned it,
Kovacic.
Yeah, I said in last week's pod, if you remember, he should have gone.
I promise you, I don't want to say this. I can feel it. Something's going to happen. And we're going to have an Eduardo situation.
But the thing is, you do go on about corruption, but, the incident Man United at home to Wolves when their keeper came out last minute and clobbered him, right? Now that was a penalty, right?
And Howard Webb's come out and said it should have been a penalty. So what the hell are they doing now? What the hell are they doing? It's wrong. Listen, I don't want to come across because Arsenal was second best for 75 minutes. Pochettino outmaneuvered and tactically got at Arteta. Declan Rice wasn't at the races. Odegaard had his worst game. But, Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo and Gallagher is a £250 million midfield. It's not like, it's a decent midfield. It's a very, very good midfield. And once they get Nkunku back, and once they get, I think they were missing another wide player, and they've got a lot of defenders out. They had their, what really annoyed me about Arsenal is Reece James wasn't playing, Chilwell wasn't playing, Fofana wasn't playing, and we were not running at them. In the second half, we did turn it around a bit. Not just because we drew 2-2. We could have lost 3-0. We actually started. Saka actually got into the game. But we got out of jail. We got lucky. 2-2. Not happy with the way we started.
I thought Chelsea, I haven't seen that much of them this season. But I thought I thought it was a terrific goal. Obviously, goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was a good goal.
But he took it well. But I just felt, maybe because it's many years watching Spurs, when you came back to 2-1, I said to Jake, they're going to get at least a draw here. Yeah, and I thought when you equalised, you could have. And
then Nketiah, mate Eddie, he had a chance to make it 3-2. It would have been very undeserved. What did you make of Raya? I think he's made. It's for me, football is all about confidence and psychology. Where are you and everything? And I'm worried about him because I think he's a very good goalkeeper, but I don't know whether. That for me that was a mistake, but it was also a bit of a fluke, wasn't it? Because it was a bit.
Yeah, it was.
It's his kicking that worries me. Although I did at one point tonight, and I turned over and I was watching a gardening program because the Spurs game was boring me a bit. But I did see Vicario play the ball out. I think it was to Romero or Van de Ven, who lost the ball. But that's the way we're all playing now. The problem is, with Vicario, Raya, Ramsdale, Alisson, Edison, whoever's going to be, they've got to be so good. They've got to be so on it. And he's not on it at the moment. He's not on it.
Does he start tomorrow against Seville?
He'll start David Raya.
You think he will?
I'd be surprised if he doesn't. I'm not sure he'll start him. I think one more little ricket, and I think Ramsdale's back in. The rumours are tonight that Arsenal are going to sell Ramsdale to fund a striker purchase in Jan to bring us our 14th league title, but I'm not sure. But going back to the game, Chelsea deserved a draw minimum. Was very impressed with that. He's a nasty little player as well, that Cole Palmer. He's got a real kind of nasty edge to him, like Rooney.
Striking him for sure.
Great player.
I think he's very good.
And you know who else impressed me, although we did get round him in the second half a bit, is he's 39 years old, I think. Thiago Silva.
Yeah.
The centre half. That's incredible. He's a good player.
I think Chelsea are slowly getting it together. Whether or not they've got enough to make a proper title challenge.
No, I don't think they've got a goal scorer. Remember the two goals.
Do you feel that was 2 points dropped?
I think it was definitely 2 points dropped. But at the end of the game, I'm going, I'll take that. I'll take that. Listen, we were 2-0 down with what? I don't know how long to go. We didn't play well.
It's funny because you go on about who have Spurs haven't faced anyone. Right, you drew at home against 10 men Fulham. Right, before the game when you kicked off against Chelsea, they were 11th place. You managed another 2.
Yeah, but come on, Stamford Bridge, Caicedo, Fernandez, Gallagher. They were missing. In fact, I've got to tell you, if Reece James and Chilwell were playing, I think that game. I hold my hands up. I think it would have been game over. I think come March, April, May, I think Chelsea are going to be a very different team to play. Because it will depend on injuries. Listen, they can suddenly have Caicedo and Fernandez out, and I was quite impressed with.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? Because I think come January, I mean, Spurs still need to strengthen. We are 1 injury, 2 injuries away to.
Well, you say that though, but you've got Van der Ven.
We haven't got anyone like Maddison. If
no.
But Benjamin's going to be back soon, which is going to be a big plus. Different players. But if Romero or Van der Ven get injured, we're centre back short.
Well, the truth is though, Son, it's annoyed me so much. Son, when I looked at it and Harry Kane was going, I thought to myself, Kane's going, and Son's going to be 32 next year, and he had the worst season he's had in the last 5 years. Last year, I thought Spurs are in serious trouble. He tires at the end of games. I've noticed he does tire.
Yeah, he does tire.
He is unfortunately, he's a very annoying striker. He's a good striker. He's not a good striker. He's a very good striker. Yeah, and it's helped you that Richarlison, who you tried to make out played a little bit better tonight, he's diabolical, mate.
Listen, I would probably...
I mean, it's helped you because he's put Son in the middle. And he's great. The first goal against Arsenal was outstanding. His goal tonight, some of his goals against Burnley, very annoying. And I don't wish anybody to get injured. I've got a lot of my Gooner friends always go, "Oh, I hope Maddison gets injured." But I don't like it because Arsenal, for 20 years, we've always just had injury after injury. So I don't want anybody to get injured. What I want is for teams to suss out Maddison. then it's going to be interesting. I've just looked at your game against Palace on Friday night. And again, no Eze, no Elise. I mean, although taking the banter aside, actually really unfortunate because that Elise is one of the best young players in the Premiership. Yeah, as is Eze. It was Elise that
Do you know any other club that have played twice in midweek? A Monday and a Friday?
Many times. But the reason why is because we're going to come on to it now, Jules, is it's obviously...
And also, not only that, in December, we're playing on a Sunday evening in Manchester and then again on Tuesday.
United or City?
What?
United or City?
City. And then
will that be your first hard game? Will that be your first? Have you gone to the north yet? Apart from Burnley, have you gone out of like the southeast of England yet? Seriously. I've never known a run like it.
No, because our 38 fixtures are totally different to your 38. I
mean,
fixtures.
I have never seen a run like it. And it's so annoying because it's like I said about the Arsenal game. You came into the Arsenal game with so much confidence. And your next game, I think, which you could say is the biggie, you got Chelsea in 2 weeks, yeah?
Yeah, 2 weeks tonight, Monday night, yeah.
It annoys me because you're going to be. Well, you might not.
Well, I guess we're playing Chelsea when they've got their confidence back now after playing you.
But you're playing them at home, aren't you?
Yeah.
Although I will admit one thing I will say, and I know you're going to bring it up. This tonight you've played I think it's your 9th game, and it's that you've played 4 at home, 5 away. So you have, a benefit of that. You've also got Wolves coming up, and I wanted to mention Wolves because they had hit their manager on tonight. What a fantastic young manager! I didn't realise.
Yeah, I've heard a few remarks about. He actually came across very well.
Very, very good. I mean, I
don't know why Bournemouth got rid of him. I've got
to tell you. He was tactically. He's going to be very, very interesting. So obviously, I now wanted to come on to the European fixtures. We'll talk about Spurs' first. Okay, there we go. We've got a big game tomorrow night. Because I've got to tell you, we're playing Sevilla, and they haven't had a great start to the season. But on Saturday, they played Real Madrid, and we're about 5 minutes away from winning. So they're going to be back.
Lamella there, isn't he? Is Lamella at Sevilla?
Yeah, I think he is there. I think he might be there. Yeah, it's going to be a tricky game. Especially there, I think Spurs know their City know, Liverpool know. When you go to that stadium, the atmosphere is going to be... And it's an important game because if Arsenal lose that tomorrow night, then that means we'll be in 3rd place probably in the group. And all of a sudden, do we want to go into the Europa League? I don't know. I mean, maybe the Europa League...
You'll get out of that Conference League. I mean, it's, you'll win your 2 home games. You got 2 more.
Not sure. I think it's a big game tomorrow night. I'm not sure whether would I take the draw? Maybe, but they're a decent side to build. And also, we got Eindhoven as our last game away from home, so I think it'll be interesting to see. I know you're going to play it down, but we've also got West Ham in the Carabao Cup next week as well. We'll be talking about that before. Well, obviously Spurs fans don't.
Before we talk about next week's, well, still this week because we're the only team playing twice this week. Let's have a quick look at the other contenders for the title and top four, how they got on. I watched Man City at home against Brighton. Brighton are a good outfit.
They are, but they've lost.
They look quite good the first half, City.
5 in a row.
Yeah.
De Zerbi's lost 5 in a row now.
Is it 5 on the row?
Yeah, we're including cup competitions.
Listen, they're still a good team. They came back into it a bit, I thought, second half, but City looked too strong for them. I mean, if City needed to up a gear, I thought they could quite easily.
I thought
Liverpool were a bit lucky.
Doku, though, before we go on to Liverpool,
he's quality, isn't he?
For all Arsenal spending, and people need to realise we obviously spent a lot of money on Declan. They spent more than I think they spent more than everybody apart from Chelsea, Man City again, and that.
But they did recoup a lot.
But that Doku is a great player. Yeah. He could keep out Grealish. He plays in Grealish's position. No, I watched a tiny bit of City. Then I watched more of them, obviously, on Match of the Day. Yeah, listen, I mean, Haaland and Alvarez, tremendous strike force.
And your ex-manager, Emery at Villa, he's looking good.
You've frozen. Oh, no, you're back.
Emery's
De Bruyne,
good,
but no, Liverpool?
Liverpool, listen, against Everton, they're a poor side, Everton, aren't they?
I know you tipped them to go down. How on earth was Konate not sent off? I mean, it's utterly disgusting.
Yeah, Klopp kept
it's
quiet
disgusting.
About that,
I'm sorry. Of course, he's going to be quiet. I thought Everton actually defended well, and Liverpool have got a great player in the Hungarian. I still don't want to say his name. What a player! Areas, but they've got some firepower. They brought on Nunez. They got some firepower, Liverpool.
Yeah,
and they got a big squad. And the only other team, obviously, is your second team, Manchester United, Jules.
Well, Man United wasn't a great game away to Sheffield United. On the back of sad news about Sir Bobby Charlton. Obviously,
we should have. Yeah, I mean, apologies.
You and I are too young to watch him, but that was, he is a football legend. And legend.
Yeah, apologies that we haven't actually mentioned that earlier. What a play! I mean, listen, I never saw him live, but the footage of him. I mean, he's nearly as good as like Ian Selly and David Hillier. No, unbelievable player, and RIP. What a great player. Just before we do predictions next week, Newcastle, another 4-0 win.
4-0 at home to Palace.
Yeah, I mean, getting ready for your game. Although what I will say, I looked at the stats in that game. Palace had 17 shots and lost 4-0. Something's a bit wrong there. But yeah, that'll be interesting Friday night. Listen, I think if it was at Spurs, I'd be saying 5-6-0. But Palace is always a little bit harder at Palace. Yeah. So I think maybe 4
especially at night, I mean, I know you went there. I think you had an evening kickoff, didn't you, this season? It's very intimidating ground. It's good atmosphere. The Palace fans are good.
Another one where Tomiyasu got sent off for throwing the ball after 31 seconds. Never happened before. Anyway, I can't keep going back to it. What's your prediction? Crystal Palace. Let's give some predictions.
Very difficult, after
three games. Crystal Palace v Spurs, Arsenal v Sheffield United, and Manchester United v Manchester City. Those are your 3 predictions I'd like.
Crystal Palace 0, Tottenham 2, Arsenal 7, Sheffield United. No, I reckon you'll win 3 or 4-0.
And United City?
That's at United, isn't it?
Mm.
I'm actually going to go 2-2.
Yeah.
I think
I'm going to go
United at home.
I'm going with my heart in the City game. Sorry, in the Spurs game. My head tells me something very different. I'm going to say 1-1 Palace. I need to see the team sheet. If Palace have got Eze or Elise back, at least they've got somebody who can put the ball in the net. I haven't heard of Jordan Ayew. I mean, come on, what is going on there? I'm going to go 1-1 Palace. Arsenal, I'm going to go with you 2-0, 3-0, but I've watched them against you and United and City, and they've kept it so tight. So I'm nervous about that. And Man United, I think City will beat them. I think City are just too good at the moment. I think they'll beat them. Now that Rodri's back. Without Rodri, different. Yeah, I'm going to go for that. And looking forward to speaking. We will record on probably
next Sunday after the United City game. But before I go, I mean, I know obviously this week, the last 2 weeks, you've been dining out being joint top, even though you haven't been because of goals scored. Will you now admit that Tottenham are top?
I will certainly admit that Tottenham are top of the league. And it's going to be so beautiful to play this back if you don't win the league.
Listen,
lovely to see you.
I look forward to Sunday night after hopefully Tottenham potentially increasing their lead at the top.
We just want home wins over the weekend. Friday, Saturday,
closer to the top 6.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We just want home wins. That's all we want.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching wherever you are. I've noticed on our stats we've got quite a lot of viewers and listeners, I should say, in the States. So thank you for listening over there.
Probably Las Vegas.
Please keep downloading, listening, but more importantly, sharing on Twitter, Facebook. If you see our videos on TikTok, and you will be seeing a few trailers on TikTok from this episode. So
you better put that Leicester one on. I'll tell you what, otherwise I'm going to be editing it.
That should be fun. So until next week, have a good week, and we will see you then. Goodbye.